As you travel south through the countries of Central America, the last one you will come to before entering South America is Panama. This country is located on a long, narrow piece of land called an isthmus. An isthmus is a long, narrow land bridge with water on both sides, connecting the Atlantic to the Pacific. Since the country of Panama is so narrow, people thought it would be a good place to construct a canal that would connect the Caribbean Sea to the Pacific Ocean. Before the construction of the Panama Canal, ships that wanted to travel from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific had to either go around the southern tip of South America or around the southern tip of Africa. Both paths were long and dangerous. Surely there had to be a way to make the journey shorter and easier. The French were the first to try and construct a canal through Panama. They started in 1880 with the thought of creating a sea-level canal. However, the French experienced many problems. Heavy rains led to landslides, and the workers became sick with yellow fever and malaria. In 1888, work on the canal ended without much progress. In the early 1900s, President Theodore Teddy Roosevelt desired to build the Panama Canal. However, in 1902, the land was owned by the country of Colombia, and they weren't willing to let the U.S. build the canal. So instead, the U.S. helped the people of Panama gain independence in 1903. In return, Panama allowed the United States to start construction on the canal. Starting construction. At first, plans were made to build a sea-level canal just like the French attempted. And, like the French, the U.S. started to encounter problems. First, the equipment that had been left behind by the French needed repairs. Second, men were coming down with yellow fever and malaria. After 1 year, the chief engineer quit. John Stevens, a railroad engineer, took over in 1905. He approached the building of the canal just like he would have when constructing a large railroad project. His organizational skills helped improve the work. Stevens also halted work until they were able to get the yellow fever and malaria under control. Solving problems. Dr. William Gorgas, the chief sanitary officer, believed that the mosquitoes were causing the diseases. When the people were able to wipe out the mosquitoes in the area, cases of yellow fever and malaria dropped significantly. Stevens' biggest contribution to the project was his suggestion of a lock canal. Since Panama is not flat, the hills created a problem for the workers. Building a canal that was the same level as the sea would have meant moving more earth. The locks in the canal act as elevators. These locks raised the ships up to another level. Some locks raised the ships as much as 85 feet. In 1907, Stevens chose to step down as chief engineer for personal reasons. Lieutenant Colonel George Washington Goethals was brought on to help finish the project. The finished project. The Panama Canal opened on August 15, 1914. It is estimated that 56,000 people worked on the canal and 5,600 of them were killed. It had been dangerous work, but the canal has proved to be a benefit for the entire world. While the United States built the canal, in 1977 a treaty was signed that allowed both the U.S. and Panama to control the canal. Finally, on December 31, 1999, control was given entirely to Panama. Today ships from all around the world travel through the canal. Transporting goods from one country to another is much simpler, safer, and quicker.